Welcome to the Deep Focus podcast. What a way to be back with our first episode of the week when we're talking about the Oscar winners and losers, the entire show tonight. But first,
Five God on the beat.
welcome back, everyone. I am super excited to be back. I can't believe we're here. I'm sorry, guys, for our little hiatus. I'm sure you saw Murad's post last week. We have some personal things to take care of, but you know what? We are healthy, physically and mentally. We are back, and what a way to be back to then talk about then tonight's Oscars. There was some not surprising moments and a couple really what the f moments, especially towards the end of the show tonight. As always, you can find us on YouTube at the Deep Focus Podcast. We are on Instagram and Twitter at the Deep Focus Pod, and still currently only on Spotify and Google Podcasts at the Deep Focus Podcast. We're still working on Apple iTunes. We finally heard back from Anchor. Thank you for finally responding and taking care of it. I know we were trying to respond to Adam. They've been great overall. This is a hiccup, but this sucks. But I'm excited to move forward and keep growing. We're at a whopping 20 subscribers on YouTube. We gained 2 subscribers on during our hiatus. Maybe people don't like listening to us, Murad. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm defeated after today. I don't know what to say.
uh, as always, guys, I'm your co-host Varun. I'm with my boy Murad. Murad, what's your first thing that kicks off in your head when it comes to tonight's Oscars?
Have you ever seen Looney Tunes when the Roadrunner like jumps off the cliff, but then Roadrunner keeps going, but then the Wile E. Coyote like runs off the cliff, and then he's like, "Oh, everything's fine," and then he looks down, and then there's this bottomless pit. That's how I feel
I think
because
that's a bit of extreme, but no.
what happened? What was that?
So I think for everyone who is wondering what Murad's talking about, it was just that was the end last award. So before we get to that, before we get to the best actor, lead actor in the movie award, that really us had us questioning a lot of different things. I want to start from the beginning. So first of all, I was very excited to watch the
Mhm,
Oscars.
mhm,
It wasn't like a digitalized, it wasn't everyone in their fancy hotel rooms or condos or mansions, nothing like that. We had a live award show,
mhm,
and I that's something that I did not think was going to happen this year for
mhm,
sure. The
mhm,
fact they made it happen and how they did it to make it
mhm,
happen was fantastic. You can definitely tell the way some of the celebrities came in down the red carpet. They were very excited to be in a big social environment like that again, to see all their friends, colleagues, everyone that they're used to seeing on a normal daily basis, and
mhm.
they're very excited to see each other. The funny part is, and I don't know if you noticed it, and I can't think of specific moments right now, but like during the pre-show of the Oscars, I find that you can tell some people who were definitely social distancing throughout the entire time,
Yeah.
because I found a lot of social cadences were a bit off when it comes to just greeting each other and talking to each other, things like that. So that's awesome that they were social distancing, and it seemed somewhat socially awkward when they're
Mhm.
talking to each other. But it was really cool to see everyone back.
Yeah.
The fits were amazing. I'll post that stuff on Instagram tomorrow. I'm sure by the time you guys hear this, it'll already be up. But the first thing that stuck out to me, like outside at the beginning of the award show, the order and the pace of the award show. So Regina King comes off to kick off the award show. Again, no host this year like it was last year. The last person that was named an Oscar host was Kevin Hart until he had some, you know, issues and like old tweets that came resurfaced. He decided to step away, and the Oscars and the Academy Awards decided to not go with a host that year. So I believe Jimmy Kimmel was our last actual host for the Oscars. So again, no host again this year. So Regina King comes up, and
She
I
does
wasn't.
great.
She was fantastic.
Yeah. Great
She was
job.
stunning. She was powerful as always. Like I don't
Mhm.
know when she isn't powerful. Like I think her and Viola Davis is on the same line where like they talk, you stop. Like you need to stop what you're doing and listen to what they're saying. So Regina King comes out, and the way it's starting off, I just thought she was really sort of recapping the year. She expressed her reaction to the Minneapolis, like the cases happening that there with George Floyd,
Mm-hmm.
and how if the verdict came out differently, obviously she wouldn't be here today. I'm sure she won't be the only one that wouldn't be here today. And we're having a whole different conversation right now. But I'm just talking about how the last year was it was a bit rough, and which is that's really shortening and dumbing it down to what she said. If you have a chance to listen to what she says, please go check it out. And then she just announces the nominations and the awards. I'm like, what? What? Like it made no like I was so confused on what was
Mm-hmm.
happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like there, she was talking about some of the original. I think it was the first word. The first award of the night was best original screenplay,
Mm-hmm.
and she when she was talking about it, I thought it would be like previous award seasons where she just mentioning like and like honoring some of these people. I didn't realize there were
Right
actual
into it.
nominations, and
Mm-hmm.
then hey, by the way, winner, promising young woman. I'm like, where is this coming from? I
Mm-hmm.
was so confused, and not because promising young woman won, whether you agree with it or not. Like, I'm sure it did, but the fact is, to kicked off the bat like that, it really threw me off
Mm-hmm.
on the pace, and it was really go 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 at that time. And I was texting with Murad during that time, thinking, "Is this gonna last 3 hours?" I was kind of confused of what was happening, and then with the order of all of the different awards, this kind of threw me off, and
Mm-hmm.
it. I'm used to watching the Oscars where the best picture is for last. Like that's the main event.
Yeah.
That's the main event.
Yeah.
That's the movie of the year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we've had some infamous moments when it comes to like who can remember, who can forget the whole La La Land
Fiasco.
uh fiasco, right?
Yeah.
So that was right. That's the main event. But we had the movie like the picture of the year. Then we had
Best
best
actress.
actress and best
Best
actor.
actor.
So that a lot of things threw me off in the order
Mm-hmm.
how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like it was on purpose, just because I noticed a lot of movies, like a movie like Mank or Morami, where it had back to back.
Minari.
No, am I butchering a name? The Viola Davis movie,
Oh, Ma Rainey's. You said
Marini.
Moran. Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, Marini.
Yeah.
My bad. But yeah, the back-to-back awards off the
Yeah.
bat. So that was something that really stuck out to me. Like I've had to pick one off the bat without thinking. That was my reaction.
Mhm.
My initial reaction. How about yours?
One thing that that I want to circle back to is when you said the social cadences and their social interactions were awkward, because that's something that I had felt because our social interactions, Vern, as you know, have been limited, right? So anytime I talk to people, I've always noticed that I don't pick up on social cues, right? Like how I used to talk to people, I used to float around the room, have conversations, no problem. Now it's like trying to have a conversation with one person after so long feels distressing, right? So I picked up on that as well, and it's really funny that you mentioned that. And it's weird to see like global like stars and actors who like talk for like that's their profession can also forget these cues. So that's one thing I picked up on. Second was it was really to me it was weird that they gave these supporting actor awards so quick, you know. um Again, well deserved. Sure, you may or may not agree with it, but yeah, the order, the pacing was weird. But to me, it was more the order that really threw me off. It was fast. I know you and I were texting, which I mean we were both shocked about. But yeah, the order was weird. Why is Best Picture not last? Am I too much of a traditionalist? I don't know, but like you said, like La La Land's fiasco. But I mean, even if you think about it last year when Parasite won, that standing ovation, what a great way to end off a show, right? And that standing ovation you can only get from Best Picture because that's a whole movie, not just a performance, right? Unless the performance really, really captivated everyone, like Heath Ledger's Joker, I would understand why that would go on last, right?
Yeah. So speaking of that, so part of the reason I thought Best Actor would be last, because I know you and I post our predictions on Instagram, which I
Yeah.
had way more right than you did, but that's a whole different conversation. And it's something I'll be bragging about until the whole Best Actor award came out, because I
Yeah.
felt like that was the one award that was locked. Like Chadwick Boseman is getting Best Actor. Like there's no doubt about it. I was like, yes, like I'm all in on that.
Was the
And
easiest pick, dude.
and I felt like it was the easiest pick, and that's what I felt like. And I didn't say this to you, but I'm sure we both thought this. Like, okay, maybe they didn't hold Bozeman one at the end,
Hmm.
so they could honor it, right? Like whether they actually know the nominations awards, sorry, not the nominations, but the
The
winners
winner.
of awards at the like when the show starts. I assume that will be the last one. Like
Hmm.
surprised. Like when and Anthony Hopkins, and I know you haven't seen Father. He was fantastic in Father. I
Hmm.
love Anthony Hopkins. This
Hmm.
is nothing against Anthony Hopkins, but I really thought Chadwick Boseman was a clear cut number one this year. This is why I continue to have my issues with award shows in general.
Hmm.
With something like this, because Chadwick Boseman's performance will be forever remembered, whereas Anthony Hopkins was another really strong performance, but I did not think it deserved Best Actor.
Hmm.
And but that's the only reason I thought that would be the last one. I'm like,
Right.
okay, maybe they're doing this. Maybe like if anything, this only just verifies that okay, yeah, Chadwick is getting Best Actor, no doubt about it. And Anthony Hopkins' name gets announced, and he's not even there at the award show to accept it. No speech, no nothing. Hey,
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins, he's not here. We'll accept on his behalf. It's
Thank
over.
you. Yeah.
I was like, what? What?
Yeah.
This ended? Like I was in shock, in absolute shock. And
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Even when they were doing the in memoriam thing, they had Chadwick's name last. Of course, a lot of people passed away last year, and it doesn't take away from them, but they put Chadwick on last, right? They were talking about his like performance the entire run of the Oscars. They were talking about how good he was in this movie. I'm watching him do his thing in that movie, and then also listening to his dialogue and how he was talking to God in that dialogue about, and you can have your own theocratical beliefs, but he was talking to God and asking him like, am I doing this right? What's wrong with you? Or like, why aren't you, why are you so unfair at things? That was a true emotional dialogue, and seeing that be his last performance, and he was so powerful in it, and then him not get it, oh, it was a slap in the face. And I'm sure Anthony Hopkins did great. He does great in everything.
And he was great. Like I know you haven't
You
seen it, but he was
right.
great in that.
Sure.
And I just calling the slap in the face. I do think that's a bit strong. I know
Fine.
you've, I know it's the instant reactions, and we want to like, but like I was just we're shocked,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were shocked. But you know what? That's the awards. It
Yeah.
happens. What are some of the highlights? Let's go positive here. What's that got to you in a positive way? Like, what were you excited about?
It was a very safe award show,
Yeah,
in the sense that like, and when they were doing like best adapted screenplay, best original, I'm like, okay, those are clear cut winners. Sure, Promising Young Woman. Uh, Best costume design, of course, was gonna go to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Like those movies put a lot of work. It was very safe, so there was nothing to be too happy about, but there
what would
also wasn't.
so we I want to bring this up, and I'm sorry
Mhm.
to cut you off here, because I thought Daniel Kaluuya was a lock for best supporting actor, and you picked Mankiss.
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, so you when that happened,
Hmm.
you weren't surprised, and you said it was a safe pick. So you're saying this whole it's safe. So do you mind actually going deeper into that? What do you mean
Yeah,
by
yeah,
safe?
yeah. So okay, so Daniel Kaluuya, his portrayal of Fred Hampton, I knew he was going to win, but in terms of who had a stronger performance, it should have been Lakeith Stanfield. Like that movie was entirely based on Lakeith Stanfield's like dilemma of, hey, do I follow the FBI agent who's going to give me money and pardon me, or do I stick true to a cause, right? And that internal sort of struggle he portrayed ever so beautifully, even to that last moment. And this is a spoiler, not really, but I won't say it, but even to that last moment, right before
Before the end,
before
before the
yeah,
no spoiler,
before
no
yeah,
spoiler.
yeah, I didn't know how to say it, so thank you. So before what happens, his internal struggle, you can feel, like, you feel so tense watching that movie. And I've seen that movie. I saw that movie about 3 times
Hmm.
because it was, from start to finish, the story was really well told, but it wasn't the story of how Fred Hampton, this isn't a spoiler because he actually was assassinated, but the story to me wasn't about Fred Hampton's, like, support for the Black Panther Party and him being the leader of the Black Panther Party. It was it was the story of Judas, right?
Hmm.
Of Lucky Stanfield's betrayal. And it was so beautifully done and it was so beautifully portrayed. He should have won because he was, in that movie, was a better actor, but Daniel Kaluuya was a safer pick. That's what I mean. Daniel Kaluuya was
Well, what makes them
his
safer? Like so you haven't asked the question yet. So what makes them safer? What's safe about
he's
Dan Kaluuya?
it's the only reason why I'm saying it's safe is because he's someone that the Academy's already previously acknowledged. Like
Okay,
Lakeith Stanfield
okay.
is still a more of a fringe actor, right?
So,
He's a great actor,
yeah.
but Daniel Kaluuya is more in the limelight. He's more well known and things like that. That's why I'm saying he's safer.
So I think Dan Kaluuya should have been nominated for Best Actor.
Lead? Okay.
Yeah, not a Best Supporting Actor, and
Mhm,
that's why I felt like Daniel Kaluuya was going to win it, was because he was a lead actor in the Best Supporting category, and that's why
mhm,
I thought it was lockdown, game over. If Kaluuya wasn't in that category, then I totally agree with you.
mhm,
So when picking the Oscars, like when going through our predictions, and we talked
mhm,
about this before, but we can't pick on who we want to win or who we think deserves to win because it isn't always the case,
mhm.
especially when it comes to any sort of award shows. So yeah, but honestly, him winning though, it was worth it for the speech alone. Like
I
that
know.
speech was amazing. Like we
Phenomenal.
got here, it was amazing,
Yeah.
and like his mom's reactions. And guys, you have to watch that reaction.
Mhm,
It was like the whole thing was genuine. It was happy. It was
mhm,
very hard to be what he did for that speech until we got our best supporting actress winner come up, and we got a little heat up there. So with Yu Jung Yun, Yoon, and she already forgave us all to the butchering her name, so I am sorry.
He's so sweet.
She
He's the
is wonderful.
sweetest
She's
person.
wonderful, and
Yeah.
her just her reaction to
Yeah.
standing next to Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt better feel lucky being in her presence at that time. But it was honestly like the first Korean actor to ever win an Oscar.
Mhm,
That alone is a huge, like, after Parasite last year, and we have this year. The Oscar and the Academy Awards continue to make forward choices, whether those choices are PR related or not. It's one question,
mhm,
but the winners tonight deserve their awards.
mhm.
Must not take that away from them because the work
Sure.
that it was amazing. The work she put in Minari was fantastic. She was
Mhm,
very powerful on that. I did not think I was surprised she won until I actually watched the movie. I'm like, oh, okay. I get why she won. It makes sense. She was
mhm,
phenomenal,
mhm,
and it was a landslide.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I thought that was great. Were you happy with that pick?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I saw Minari a few months ago, and I remember we were talking about this in our Golden Globes episode, and I was already thinking at that time, like, okay, it makes sense. And the nominations weren't even out, but I knew she was gonna. It was either gonna be her or the wife. I forgot her name,
Mhm.
and I'm not even gonna, because I will say it wrong. But it was either gonna be Hugh Jung Yuen or the wife's character. Again, I'm sorry, I forgot the name. Um, but yeah, it was a good win. That was a great performance. That was a great win. Uh, but then we got to Best Picture, and I don't know, bro. Do you want to talk about that? Because I have my own feelings about that.
Yeah, like if we could talk about best picture, like I picked Nomadland not because I thought it was the
Yeah.
best movie. I did not think it was the best
I
movie.
know, and I
I don't think it was the top three movie in that.
yeah.
I picked it because it was it was a typical Oscar pick. Like when I pick these Oscars, and for anyone who knows me, like I look at the gambling
Odds,
odds, I
yeah.
look at everything, and not only was Nomadland the only one in the minus when it comes to gambling odds, it was the only favorite. It was a favorite by a mile. It was the steam it was gaining towards the Oscar award show. I'm like, it's going to win. There's no doubt about it. There isn't a Green Book type movie this year where the
Yeah.
Oscars goes on pat themselves in the back. Hey guys, we picked another
Yeah.
good underdog story. No, like this is another movie that I have had no doubts that was going to win.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Father. I did enjoy Mank. I actually thought those two were the best movies in that
Oh,
category.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I thought those two are the best two movies in the category. I mentioned before that I wasn't a fan of Chicago Trial 7. I thought it showed that Sorkin should stick to writing. His directing ways really,
Really?
yeah, I just was not impressed. Like
Wow.
I thought it was kind of messy and choppy,
Mhm.
and I felt like it was okay. And there's a lot of amazing talent on that, and I don't believe Sorkin knew how to utilize that talent.
Okay, fair enough.
So Chicago 7 was the worst movie in that category,
Hmm.
and I don't think it's close.
Hmm.
And Mank is I thought Mank was going to win too. That's my actual original pick, only because it's a movie about Hollywood.
I know, and they
You
love
know,
it. They
you know what I
love
mean? And they
themselves.
love talking about themselves. They love a
Yeah.
movie about themselves. So, and for anybody who hasn't seen Mank yet, it's a movie about the making and the writing of Citizen Kane, which is one of the greatest movies ever. Which, fun fact, do you know now Mank has more awards than Citizen
Then yeah.
Kane?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? It's like the disaster artist, like this
Oh
whole thing,
God,
like
right.
being more popular. It's like
Yeah,
it's
but
not a bad movie,
I
but
would
yeah, like
I would lose all faith if The Room had more Oscars than The Disaster Artist. I would stop this whole thing. We need to
uh
start over because clearly there's something wrong.
yeah. But yeah, like that's my take. Like
Mm.
just because I thought I picked Nomadland, it's not because I think they were the best movie.
Right.
It was a fine movie, but it was not my best movie. So what, obviously I know you don't agree with the Oscar
Okay,
winner.
so to me, it was sort of like The Revenant, where it was just like really, really cool imagery, really, really like a really intense story. But it seemed like there was even in The Revenant, there was a story about revenge. This one, I honestly, I watched it and then I stopped 45 minutes in because I had to go run an errand, and then I came back and then I forgot which part I stopped it off at, and I started at a random point, and it felt like the same movie. Like there was no like it was cohesive in the sense that there was really nothing that was happening all too
Mhm.
much. It was just like look at this amazing desert landscape and look at like the struggle of this nomad. Sure, Frances McDormand acted beautifully in it, and it was really well directed. Chloe Zhao 100% deserved her Oscar for sure, and for her being the second female best director winner is also incredible. But for me, it was Minari. Like to me, like that had so much more heart. That it pulled at your heartstrings. It made you happy. It made you sad. It made you just question everything. And for me, being an immigrant kid, I'm not sure if I'm placing a bias on it because I had gone through those things. But to me, that movie will stand the test of time a lot more. And we often talk about movies who, like 10 years from now, we're like, oh no, this movie should have won instead of this. I feel like this is gonna be one of those years where we're gonna look back, whether it's Mank, whether it's Minari, whether it's whichever. I think it's gonna be a situation where we'll say, you know what, probably not. Probably Nomadland was not the right choice at that moment. That's how I feel. That's just me being cynical, but you know what? Congratulations to all the winners because it is still an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
And what they've done in the midst of this pandemic is nothing short of incredible, right? So they
Mhm.
they they have their roses. They absolutely deserve it. I was cooking at the time, and I stopped what I was doing. I was like, okay, it's best picture time. Let's go. And then I was like, okay, let's go. It's gonna be Minari. It's gonna be Minari. It's gonna be it. And this said Nomadland. And I stood up, and I visibly looked at my mom. I was like, what was that? Like, what happened? And then I was just in disbelief. I didn't want to believe it. And there was a lot of people. On there's another podcast, Late Fee Cinema, shouts out. They posted up a post and they said who do you think is gonna win Best Picture, and I had commented, I'm like, I hope Minari wins, but I know it's going to be Nomadland. Like you said, it was the odds, it was the favorite to win, and then so many people commented saying, "Oh, I really hope not." And again, the movie is not bad, but to me, it was your Trial of Chicago 7. You know,
So,
like
so you thought it was the worst movie in that category?
I I certainly watched it and I was like, what did I just do? Why? You know, like it looked beautiful. It looked like Alejandro Inarritu won Best Director for The Revenant. Makes sense. It was a beautiful movie, right? But he didn't win Best Picture, which makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To me, this was like that. That's the only reason why I compared it to the two, right? Frances McDormand won Best Female. Leonardo DiCaprio won Best Actor. Makes sense. But Best Movie, best, best.
uh
I'm gonna
a-
stop.
all right, peeps. I'm gonna get Murad to cool down a little bit. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back to finish off with our highlights and best moments of the Oscars. We'll be back after this break.
Welcome back, listeners. I'm now much more chill now that Varun has said, "Hey, just calm down a little bit." So I've calmed down. My apologies if I flew off the handle a little bit. But you know what? Let's. I want to talk about a positive because I swear I'm not a negative Nelly. And so I want to talk. I want to talk about cinematography as we were talking about before the break. Nomadland looked really beautiful with whatever, we've gone past that. Cinematography wise, I was really glad that Mank won because to me, like you said, it's a movie based on Citizen Kane, and for them to make a movie that's based on another movie and have it look just like that was unbelievable. Just in that one scene where there it's like this still shot and they have this like the Hollywood office is just there, and it was like this weird dim night, but there was this it was really well done. So that's one of the biggest positives that I have coming out of it. Varun, what about you?
My favorite thing of the entire Oscars was Questlove.
Oh,
Man, it's about time we got some good vibing music in this award
yeah,
show
yeah.
that was a current, that was like present. It
Hmm.
wasn't something to put us to sleep. Like I was vibing through the entire
And
time. So shout out to Questlove for crushing it. That was
hmm,
amazing. Thank you to the Academy Awards for letting everyone finish their speeches. And guess what, guys? You let everyone finish their speeches, and we only finished 20 minutes over the ending time. Think about that.
hmm,
Let them finish. So when Leo won his first Best Actor award, he let the man speak and let the man finish. Like, come on, guys.
yeah.
Please keep this going forward.
Hmm.
But the biggest winner of tonight, and is not even close,
Netflix.
Netflix. Netflix coming in hot again. Say what you want about Netflix, about, oh, hey, Disney Plus is doing this. Yo, hey, Hulu's doing that. HBO Max is doing this. Well, look at the trophies, guys. The trophies are in Netflix. They keep bringing these amazing projects out, right? Like my favorite short was Two Distant Strangers, one for best, no, best short. If you haven't watched it yet, that's on Netflix. It's like a 30-minute watch. It is fantastic. It is current. It's amazing. I Amazing story, great acting. But like Netflix continues to dominate. And it isn't something like this isn't new. They've been doing this for a while now.
Hmm.
Like they've been slowly growing every year,
Hmm.
and they're not going away. It's clear. It's clear why they're keeping charging us more money, and it's clear why people will not leave Netflix. It's
Hmm.
because they bring these massive awards to the streaming service and to
Mhm.
continue to dominate. So my thinking now is like, is anybody else going to do that? Because we've seen that from Amazon a little bit
Mhm.
in the past with the awards. I'm not counting HBO Max as that because the movies that were supposed to come out this year were meant to be theatrical releases
Right.
and not originally for streaming services. But do you feel like is this been going to become more of a norm now that these streaming services will continue to dominate? Because Francis, at the end of the Best Picture speech, was talking about, "Hey, please watch this in the theaters. Can't wait to go in the theaters, sitting side by side in a closed, like in a closed room, watching the biggest screen possible." But then something like today, where Netflix continues to dominate, is like, okay, Netflix is still crushing it where I could watch it at home but now with the pandemic and everything's going on, I don't know how much this will change. Obviously, people are excited to go back to movie theaters. You know, Godzilla proved that. Mortal Kombat this weekend proved that. And I think
Mhm.
there will be more blockbusters that come out that will prove that. But then these award-winning movies, is that going to change that? Yeah.
I mean, anytime, and I might be wrong here, feel free to correct me, but anytime there's like Oscar movies that are like, more critically acclaimed, more liked by not just a casual moviegoer, right? Because Mank is not a movie that like a casual movie guy's gonna sit through, right?
Mhm.
Because Mank is very, very like diluted in Hollywood history. And so movies like that usually I've never seen them play it like a Cineplex or like if you're in America, I'm not sure what it's the equivalent to like AMC or something, right? Those movies play, but they play at like the specialty cineplexes, like the either the or like even small theater like the Rio, like they'll play those
Mhm.
movies, but they're not playing at every cinema. You know what is? Superhero movies, comedy movies, romance movies, horror movies. Oscar movies to me have never been a movie that I would just go sit in a movie theater to watch. That's always been a more of a home thing. So it makes sense why things like Netflix is killing it. Like and you said Amazon Prime's been killing it, and I have no doubt that HBO Max is going to do some amazing things as well. But yeah, Oscar movies are not like everyone sit in a room together and we'll
Mhm.
just watch something for the zeitgeist, like it's a much more private movie, right? That's how those movies are made. They deal with a lot of really intense things. Whereas like yeah, superhero movies you can sit with like 100 strangers and like yell, scream, be happy, and be merry with one another. Oscar movies aren't really like that, right? So I get it. I get why people would want to go to the movies because, of course, that moves Hollywood forward. But I don't think Oscar movies are not those movies for me,
Well, let's
right?
not forget, no, Fast and Furious was once nominated for an Oscar, and that's a yeah, for an action horror movie. So next time we wanna, talk on Fast and
Whatever.
Furious, remember it was nominated for an Oscar, and the stupid 50 Shades of Grey won that for best original song. That's the biggest
But
robbery
that's a
on
best original song. I'm talking
who's
like best
who's
picture here,
man,
bro. Like best
don't
actor. Come
I
on. Best
I'm
song?
I'm reaching, bro. I'm reaching. Okay.
Of course, The
Uh
Weeknd won it with Earned It. Come on. That was a great song. Weird movie, but great song.
that's a whole different conversation.
Don't judge me.
That's a whole different conversation. We'll talk about that more when we do our Fast and the Furious podcast when Fast 9 comes out. Even if I do it on my own, I will do it. But that's it, guys. That's it for me. That's our reactions.
Mhm,
I'm excited for everyone to be back, socializing together. I'm excited
mhm.
for another year of fantastic movies. Until then, guys, Murad, sign us off.
Real quick, shouts out to Daniel Kaluuya's parents for having sex.
Peace.
Peace.